PC is the worst way to play video games.
Do it, Anakin. Do it. Do it. Kill the PC, Anakin.
What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. We are in the den as always, and this is where we talk about video games, both modern and retro, and we talk about some tech. Today we got a mixture of both because we're talking about how PC is the worst way to play video games. And now the comment section can roast me. Go, come on. All right, I'm mostly joking. My way of saying that the worst way to play games is wrong. I just think PC gaming is a pain in the butt. All right, I just built my PC a couple years ago. This is more of like a rant for a minute, okay? All right, just a rant. And like putting the pieces together wasn't hard. Easy. Newegg, PC builder, all that kind of stuff. You just build your PC, easy does it. You could put it together. Problem was I didn't do a whole lot of research on like CPU and like which one's the newest one. i5, i9, i7, I get Ryzen 5 7 9. I get all that. I don't know why there's not an 8 on either one of those. I think it's cores. I'm still kind of new to this, all right? You guys can roast me later. So when I first built this PC, I picked a Ryzen 7 5800X, and that was just a couple years ago. I'm pretty sure we were on the 7 series, and that's what always confused me was the numbers on the end. I wasn't really paying attention. I was mostly like, this one's like 275 or something like that, and I spent a lot of money on some other things like case fans that are easily upgradable. So what I'm going to talk about in this video is just more along the lines of like PC gaming and kind of what you should watch out for if you're wanting to get into this, and I have a better option if you're on the newer side of it. All right, why do I think PC gaming is a pain in the butt and it's the worst? Hardware, okay? Hardware is super complicated to figure out. I wouldn't say super complicated, but it's time consuming. You gotta do a lot of research on this stuff to make sure you're getting the best stuff and like a right fit and things for longevity, right? Because I built mine, it's on the A4 chipset, and they came out with the A5 like a year and a half later. So upgrading is now going to be a pain in the butt. I can't get the newest chip. Now, from what AMD has said, they're going to support this chip socket for quite a while. So hopefully, when I do upgrade, it'll be a lot easier. That's my main gripe with it, is mostly just CPU. How do you select the right CPU? Well, first, you got to decide whether you're AMD or Intel. Now, to me, I like AMD just because price for performance isn't that off from Intel, in my opinion. Now, I know a lot of people are going to sit here and be like, you could get a lot more FPS out of an i7. But to me, the performance I get out of how much it costs. You compare apples to apples, a Ryzen 7 and an i7, and both the same generation, and the Intel will probably always perform a little bit better, but AMD, I think, gets a little bit of the cake, especially with, they're usually $50 to maybe even $100 cheaper sometimes. So lock down your CPU. Also, don't do what I did. I went with a motherboard that didn't have Wi-Fi because I wasn't worried about it. I was going to always hardline in my PC just because that's the best way to get the best like internet performance and stability and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, I don't need Wi-Fi. And some games I like playing on controller over mouse and keyboard. Most of the time I like mouse and keyboard, but there are certain games like action games I usually like a controller, just a little bit easier and a little more simplified. But that means because I didn't get Wi-Fi, normally the Bluetooth is on the same chipset or card. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but the part of the motherboard that has Wi-Fi on it usually also has Bluetooth, so I didn't get either. That was a mistake. So I suggest always getting one to make sure you at least has Bluetooth if you want to connect your any of your devices, not just controllers. And then after that, things are pretty easy. Motherboard kind of just follows suit with the CPU that you select, and that if you're using PC Part Picker, or what I would suggest is using Newegg's PC Builder, just way easier, way better in my opinion. It's all one-stop shop. You're not going to Amazon, then this website, then that website. Now, you do miss out on some deals sometimes because Amazon might be cheaper sometimes for parts. Plus, you could get it in like, you can get it the next day sometimes. And I would also suggest, like, some of the things you can skimp on is the RAM. You can get cheaper RAM for the time being. Easy to upgrade that. Pop it out, pop it in. Super simple. And case fans and the case. So those are the three things that I would completely just cheap out on. Go cheap case fans, cheap case in of itself. I paid for the Hyatt Y60. It's one of the most expensive cases you could purchase. I'm happy with it. I like it, but I could have upgraded that over time. Probably spent maybe 90 bucks on a case instead of I think 170 is how much the Hyatt Y60 is. And then I bought Corsair RGB fans. I didn't need to do that. I could have just bought some simple case fans. We would have been a-okay. Now, besides all of that, why do I think console gaming, for me as a dad mostly, what makes me want a console game? Well, getting my kids into console gaming is way easier. And also, you put in the game and it just works. There's no fiddling with settings like you have to on PC. Every game I opened up on my PC, no matter how good the specs were, even when it first opened it, I always had to sit there and mess with some of the settings to get it to run as smooth as it does on a console. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying PC gaming's not the way to go, because the problem I have with console gaming is that the games are pretty much always they're expensive, right? You don't find very many games, if at all, unless it's pre-owned or something like that, which I'm fine with buying pre-owned. I collect things. You guys can see all this behind me. That's all pre-owned stuff. But it's not like Steam, where you could pick up a $15 game like Balatro and just have an absolute blast. You won't find that on console. I mean, you will with Balatro. Balatro's on consoles now, but it's very rare to find those little hidden gems. Those games like Balatro start on Steam and then they work their way other places. You don't find that on consoles. So now I'm tearing you. Which one do I go with, PC or console? Well, I'm going to tell you, it depends on your life situation. One of the things is like getting my kids to play on the console is, to me, much easier. I don't, when I have to sit here and teach them the was-did keys and all that kind of stuff and how to use the mouse, it just gets to be too much. Like, controllers just make sense to people, like how it works, and you use it for a minute, you're like, oh, okay, those are the buttons, and it's also easier just to join all on one console than it is on a PC. I've never even tried on a PC. To be honest, the last little bit that I'll say is all the cables. I'm a streamer and I make YouTube videos, so there are cables going everywhere. I'm mostly joking. To be honest, I think PC gaming is the way to go. You just got to be willing to fork out the cash. And don't listen to comment sections or like the internet. They're gonna tell you have to build your own PC. Don't buy no pre-built crap. My opinion is buy the pre-built stuff. It's a little easier. I would steer away from ones you find at like Best Buy, like iBuyPower and CyberPower. Not that those PCs are like the worst thing ever, but I've had 2, maybe 3 of those, and they have bloatware. Like, they have software on it that's installed by iBuyPower and CyberPower, and it just bogs down the PC. It's like all this what they think fancy, but it's not. So I would go with like a few websites. There's NZXT, there's Build Redux, Digital Storm. I'm reading some off my computer over here. CLX Gaming, I've heard of that one, and that one's probably one I would go with. But now that I have my own PC and I built it, I only need a few parts to upgrade. It's gonna cost me like $600, so it ain't happening anytime soon. But that's why I don't like PC gaming. It was just so frustrating. I just built this a couple years ago and I can't play new games that was coming out, like Indiana Jones. Struggled like heck with it. Go play it on my Series X. Works beautifully. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you guys watching my rant video. I hope that helped people. because I tried to give my best advice. I've owned lots of consoles. I've owned a couple PCs, quite a few of them actually, and I just want to give you guys some suggestions. So let's recap real quick. So number one, you got to decide your hardware, do tons of research if you're going to build your own PC. If you're going to do, so this the second one, if you're going to do pre-built, make sure you're not going to Best Buy and buying a pre-built. Make sure you buy from companies like CLX Gaming. There's a ton other, just like look them up on the internet. You'll be able to find them pretty easy. And I'm not sponsored by anybody, by the way, so me saying that, it's totally just my opinion. You can even go on a Newegg and buy some pre-built PCs that will work. So test that out. I mean, you can't really return it, so be careful testing it out. 3 is just like your lifestyle. What is it like? Is it to where you just want to turn it on and be able to play without many issues and stuff like that? Console gaming might be your thing. If you're willing to fork up some money at the front, PC gaming might be your thing. And then 4 is the value of games you're getting. Like I said, lots of games on Steam and other launchers as well. Steam is going to be the one you're going to want to go with. They're the best. Okay, they do such good sales. They promote indies. They do such a good job of throwing games that are curated at you that you already played and already liked. So stick with Steam. And all those, you can get tons of games for under like $20 that are extremely good. I know I bought bundles of all the Batman Origin games, I think like 4 or 5. I bought every single one. A bunch of Lego games were bundled, and they were like $20. Same with the Batman games, $20. Things like that, like really cool collections that you can buy on there. The only thing is, I wish there was some sort of physical. Would be really cool is if Steam had some sort of like game almost, so you like went into a room that you could design with your different games up there, and you go up, grab the artwork, almost like a VR. That'd be kind of cool. You go up, you grab your game, and like, oh yeah, and then you put it in the PlayStation 2, but then just works, beam, 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 or whatever system you want to play it on. And then obviously 5, performance is better on the PC as long as you keep up with the hardware and keep updating drivers and stuff like that. I wish Windows would make it a lot easier. I wish there was just like an update driver button. You press it, bloop. I know there's something like that. But it's complicated to get into. I just wish when it updated, it just updated all the drivers as well. Well, there you have it, you guys. That is today's video. Why PC gaming is the worst. It's not, but you got a little clicky beat. Thank you guys for watching the video. Hit the like button and the subscribe button so you know when there's retro, modern gaming coming out and tech, because that's what we do here. Bye bye, guys.